Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Snooker 19 career, the other O'Sullivan with me, Daniel. We're back for a momentous moment today in the UK Championship after you saw our last episode against Stuart Bingham in the first round, as we've got a chance to get to the quarter-final and we're facing the Scotsman Graeme Dott. The former world champion started well against us, but if we go into the game now, you can see we've got a 2-frames-to-1 lead and one more frame, one more big break, and we're into our first big quarter-final. So it's Graeme Dott to break off in the fourth. We'll be back with that in a second. Hopefully we'll be able to build another big break. We've got 4 centuries to our name so far, and just one more will do the trick in this one and really put us in a strong position for the tournament. The prize money should shoot us up the rankings in no time, but that looks like a pretty good break, so it might be quite difficult here as we may be snookered on all the reds. Let's just wait and find out. He's got behind the green quite nicely. That's going to make it very difficult. I really don't think we can get round at all. It's left us in a really tricky spot here, and that could be one of the best breaks we've faced in our career. I'm not quite sure where we're going to go with this. We're just going to make sure we try and hit one first, and then we'll worry about where it's going to go after that. So let's see if we can get into the bottom of the pack. We don't want to hit it too hard. We just want to rest up against them if anything, and we've done that pretty well, although I think that red's just escaped to the left hand side and it may leave him a pot to the middle. He's got one to the bottom too. A nice new feature from one of the recent updates is the touching ball comment on the top left, just to let you know, because you don't always hear it in the commentary, and Graeme Dott starts a nice break. So we'll just see if he can put the colour in. He's got a lot of left hand side on the ball. He's potted the black quite well, and it looks like he's got a chance to build a break. So we'll let him go and do that, and we'll be back in a second if we get another chance at the table. Well, our luck's in today. We've got back to the table very quickly. Graeme Dott tried to split the pack after the second colour, and it just didn't work out at all. So he was left with a very tricky red. He still went for it, to be fair to him. He was very attacking, but unfortunately for him, it didn't go in, and he's left us a chance now. So let's try and just roll this red into the corner. We've already set it up, and we're just going to try and come off the cushion gently and leave ourselves the blue or green to the corner. After that, the reds are split pretty nicely now, so we may get 2 or 3 opportunities to pot. We could go for the pink here, but it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, so I'm just going to go for the simple green. We're not about high point scoring at the moment. We're not yet at the stage where we can start to think about 1-4-7s or even century breaks when we come to the table. We're just at the stage now where we feel if the reds are split nicely, we could make a frame winning contribution. We've done it quite a lot. We're the master of getting 60s, 70s and 80s and just seeing out a frame in one visit, which if you go back to the first 2 or 3 episodes is really a long way to have come. So we're doing quite well at the moment. We're still in our first season. We haven't really faced any big opponents in this game. We did have a big reputable name in Ken Doherty, but obviously he's in the twilight of his career, so it wasn't quite the same challenge he would have been in previous years. But we did manage to see him off quite well. We're just going to try and screw back for the blue here. Plenty of power off one cushion, but we've hit it too hard and the red's bounced out. It's not managed to drop into the pocket. So we've given Graeme Dott another chance. We're getting nervy as we've got a chance to get across the line, and I'm sure Dott will pot this. He'll have to do very well to miss it. He's potted it, but I don't think he's on a colour, and he may well have snookered himself on all of them, so he could be back at the table very quickly, so no real need for us to break away yet. He's managed to hit the brown or yellow. I think it's the yellow in the end he hit first, and he's managed to snooker us on most of the reds. He's a pretty good safety in truth. We've not got an opportunity to pot now. We could get to that red it was showing us, but I'm not sure we'd be able to get a potting angle. It would just be playing a safety, so it's going to be a little bit of a tricky one. Let's see what angle we can get on it before the yellow interferes. It's just too short for the potting angle. I don't think we can get it in. It might be worth a go though. Just roll into the reds. There's no real harm if we don't leave a pot on. So let's just go for it at 20%. We like to be a bit more attacking, and unfortunately here we've underhit it, so the red won't even reach the pocket, and we'll have done very well to get away with that, as there's a pretty thin cut to the middle pocket. He's touching ball again, but we left the same red on, and that's probably one of the most amateurish mistakes we've made in at least 4 or 5 tournaments. So Graeme Dott's in amongst the colours and reds again. The pack split beautifully as we mentioned. I'm speeding up the shots again. It's a force of habit, but we'll leave Dott to build his break, and we'll come back if we get another chance. We've just watched the red drop in. Fingers crossed he'll miss one soon. Well, we're back at the table, but Graeme Dott's wrapped up the frame. He's 70 points clear, and there's only 51 left on the table. One of the differences I've noticed as we go and concede the frame is that Graeme Dott was going red, black, red, black, red, black. All of the other opponents we had in in earlier tournament rounds have just been going for the lower value colours. He seemed a much more fluent break builder, and he is up at 21 in the world, so it does explain it slightly, but it's a really disappointing outcome when we were so close to victory. So we're going to show you the decider just to see if we can hobble over the line. We just need one real good opportunity, and hopefully this time we'll take it. We've got to learn our lesson that we're not good enough yet to focus on which colour we're going to get on. We've got to just make sure we pot the red and get onto a colour of some description. We've managed to snooker Graeme Dott on the reds, so he is having to come off the cushion. It's an easy enough shot, but he's made a right pig's ear of it, and we've now got a chance to put the first red in. The reds are pretty well split now too, and we've got one that's relatively easy to pot, so if we can just rest this one in and maybe even go up for the blue, then that should leave us in a pretty nice position as we look to win the deciding frame. So we're just going to put 33% on it. Even if we don't get on the blue, there's plenty of bulk colours to choose from. We've got a good angle on the yellow if need be, and we are going to need it based on that shot. We can go green or yellow now as we're very central on the table, and whichever one we go for, we should have a choice of reds at the bottom. So we're going to go for green. It's one extra point, and it's the better angle for the red we want to get on. We've just got to make sure we don't get caught behind the blue. So we're going to put a little bit of forward spin on the ball, just try and make sure we miss the brown. Otherwise there could be a world of difficulties for us if we manage to get ourselves snookered. We don't want to be losing points over and over as we miss everything trying to get the red, but we played that pretty well. It's a relatively thin cut with the red, but it's a decent enough effort, and we're delighted to be on the board with a chance to win it. If we can split the reds well, we should be able to get into the pack and maybe get a break of 60 or 70, though it doesn't look like a frame winning opportunity at the moment. There's still plenty of time to come. So again, we're just going to try and rest this one in, about 20% power again. We're trying to get the power more relevant. We often hit the ball far too hard early on as we managed to see the red drop into the pocket. We've been hitting the ball far too hard, getting ourselves out of position quickly, but it seems like we're just getting a handle of that now, although we've just come out of position for this one. So we're going to play the blue to the top corner. We'll try and screw back down, but I don't really know what opportunities we've got here as there aren't many reds available. I'm just going to see if we can get into the pack at all. It doesn't look like a good possibility, but if we hit this one as hard as we can, we never know what the outcome could be. We're going to go for 95%. I missed my mark there, which is why it went back, and it looks like we're just going to nestle among them rather than give ourselves an opportunity. It's a pretty poor shot in the end of it. We've not got an angle to pot any red, so it's just going to be a safety shot up the table to try and leave Graeme Dott in a difficult position. We've got to make sure we miss the brown on the way up just to give ourselves a better opportunity here. We want to make sure we can snooker him if possible, so we're just going to try and nestle it up on the top cushion. A lovely shot. We've freed a few reds as well, spread the pack quite nicely, so if we've covered all the potting angles, this could well be a brilliant safety shot. We'll see what Graeme Dott does in response. Hopefully he won't pot one of the reds, although it looks like we've left him half a little chance, although he's just managed to miss it to the bottom corner. We've got a red on now, so it looks like this could be our real chance. The reds are nicely spread, and the deciding frame is in our hands. We've got two opportunities then. We've got a relatively thin cut to the bottom pocket, or we've got a quite straight red to the middle, but it is harder to get on a colour from that one, though if we hit it light enough, it shouldn't be a problem at all. So if we just try and come up for the blue, give ourselves a tiny bit of angle, but without overrunning it too much, we'd also give ourselves the option of the pink to the corner, so we can take on whichever one's better. It's pretty much a perfect angle on both colours, and it looks like we should be able to get on a red no problem. So what I want to try and do, where there's a loose one at the edge of a pack, is to try and get those off the reel first, because then that opens up another red without us having to do any work. So if we can manage to get an angle just in line with a pink spot here, that should leave us the red at the bottom of the 5 or 6 cluster. So we've got to hit this with the right percentage of power, or we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. We've gone over by 1%, but it's just about perfect, and we've now got a lovely pot on the red with an easy screw back opportunity. So we've got the red we wanted to get on. It's the one at the bottom here. It looks like a relatively straight pot, so it shouldn't be too difficult, and we can manage to screw up if need be. So we're just going to have to nudge the red on the way past, get ourselves an angle on the pink or blue, and if we manage to do that, we give ourselves an opportunity to continue our frame winning break. It's a lovely shot. I think the pink's alright, so it looks like we've got an opportunity to get on a red. We've just got to find one that's appropriate. So that cluster of 6 at the moment is pretty much out of action, as are the 3 around the black, so we're going to have to try and screw back lightly just past the pink spot to get on this loose red. So 28% 40% should do the trick. We've underhit it slightly, so I've just got to make sure the pink doesn't get in the way. Unfortunately for us, it doesn't. We're going to try and go for the pink to the middle after this red, just to leave ourselves a bit of an angle. The hope is that then we can come into the reds and try and split them a little bit for the shot after. So we are at the stage where we're thinking 2 or 3 shots ahead. I'm not sure whether it'll work out or not. We'll probably find out after we've taken this one just how stupid we look. So let's try and get it into the middle pocket here. It looks a relatively good angle, and as we screw back into the reds, we hope we can hit them hard and just get that bit of lady luck. No matter how good a break builder you are, splitting the pack always comes down to luck, and I think we might have just about got away with it, but we've left ourselves a really thin cut here. So it's one of those with the wide cone for the potting angle. It's going to make it a little bit trickier, but I'm going to go for it here. I fancy our chances nicely. We've just got to try and roll it in. If we don't get on a colour beautifully, then so be it. It looks like it's just about going to go in. It rattles off both sides of the pocket. It then cannons into the blue, and it looks like we're going to have to pot a tricky green and try and get back down the table. So certainly not the ideal break so far. We've not left ourselves the best angles on colours at times, and it's going to be hard to get on a red here, but if we can get back down to the bottom of the table, we've got 2 or 3 that are open now. We've got to miss the middle pocket. We've done that, but we've got a horrific bounce off it, and as a result, that's going to be break over. A little bit disappointing in the circumstance. There's a couple of really thin cuts, but I don't want to risk them at this stage, so we're just going to go for a little bit of screw back and try and get ourselves back up the table. So 40% should do that nicely, although one of the reds has followed us up there, and we've left it onto the middle. We've got one onto the top as well, although I think that's just about covered by the green. It's a pretty horrific shot in all, and unfortunately Graeme Dott's back at the table. Even though he's 35 behind, there's still nearly 100 to play for. He's put the red in. We'll do the same again. I'm speeding up the shot if you're wondering why it's looking a bit quick and jittery, and we're going to see the colour drop in, and once it does, we'll come back after his break. So Graeme Dott's well in the flow of things here. He seems to have left himself a good angle. We're just going to check this red because it is a bit tricky, and if he gets past that, we'll leave him to it. So let's just see if he can put this one in. The opponent's thinking for a while, which does show it's a difficult one, and he's got a bit of a plant there, but in the end he's just gone safe, and he leaves us another opportunity to win it. There's a red that's just nestled over the bottom pocket. That's an absolute stroke of luck for us, and hopefully we'll be able to put it in and then continue to build our break. The black's come up the table, which is a little bit tricky, but I'm not going to complain about that as we've got an unexpected opportunity. So let's put this red in. We'll just hit it gently, and then we'll start to plan our break after that. Just 23% to make sure we get enough on it. We've underhit it anyway. We just need to hope it drops in, and it does just that. We've got a decent angle on the blue, and I think that'll be enough to start us a building break. Let's get on this blue then, see if we can pot it to the top corner. It's going to be quite a tricky one. We're getting a bit under pressure at the moment, so they're not the most coherent sentences coming together, but as long as we win this match, I really couldn't care less. Hopefully you'll feel the same. The blue, is it going to drop in? It does. A little bit of a wobble off the cushion and a bit off the jaws of the pocket, but it's just about gone in, and we've got an okay angle on the red, but these are the tricky ones to get out the way. Once we get back down the table, there's some easy pots on the board. We're just going to go 20% again. We should have all the bulk colours to the middle. We've just got to make sure we pot the red, and we haven't managed to do that. Graeme Dott's got it on. It's an easy pot for him, and he's got another chance to win this frame. It's been a really jittery decider so far. 3 of these 4 frames have been won in one visit, and it's going to be really difficult for that to happen now. Even though there's only 80 left on the board, it seems like both of us don't want to win it. So let's see what Graeme Dott can do with the colour. He potted the red quite easily as we expected, and I'm not sure what he's going for here. He's gone for the blue, and remarkably he's missed it again, although I think he's got away with it as there's no red on, so it could be a long safety exchange now. Let's see if we can get on the bottom of the 2 reds from the pack. We can't get a potting angle on it, so we might have to go for one of these trickier ones just to see if we can put it in the bottom corner. I'm not sure if we'll be able to. I'm going to try and hit it gently, and hopefully we won't leave anything on if we do manage to miss it. I'm a naturally attacking player, so we had to go for it, and it's worked out on this occasion as it goes straight in the heart of the pocket. No wobble off the jaws, no touch on the side cushion, just straight into the heart of the bottom corner pocket. We can't get an angle on the blue, but we can do enough to get on the green, and if we can get back down the table and leave ourselves an easy pot, we don't need to worry about this red left at the top right. If we pot the other foreign colours, we'll have won the frame no problem, as we've already got a lead of 35. We've just got to make sure we finish the job. So we're going to pot the green, screw back down the table halfway, and hopefully leaves ourselves a decent potting angle on the red, although that's not come quite as far as I'd like to. You're starting to see the fragility now. We're still not 100% confident. The pace is coming off the ball. We're not getting the spin executed well, and I'm still not confident putting side on it, so it could be a little bit of a tricky ending. Let's put a bit of forward spin on the ball. If we come up and hit the pink, then so be it. I just want to make sure the red's potted, and we seem to have got a stroke of luck there. The pink's gone almost straight for the corner, so it looks like we've got an easy colour choice here. The pink is almost absolutely dead straight, and we should be able to get back down the table here. 54, 53%, that should do the trick quite nicely. We've hit it 54 anyway. We're coming just far enough to get the red to the corner pocket, and it looks like it is going to be a deciding frame victory, and we're going to get through to the quarterfinals. What an event to do it in for the first time. After a couple of third round appearances recently, it's quite clear to see the improvement we're making, but for it to happen in this event and all come together quite well is absolutely fantastic. We won 3-1 against the young Chinese superstar and 3-1 against Ken Doherty as well. We won 3-0 against Stuart Bingham in the first round, which you obviously saw the first frame of last time, so it really has been a good run of form this time out, and I feel like that could continue today. So we're going to put this one in about 22%, just try and leave ourselves an easy red, and one more should really wrap up the tie, although the pink may cover this one here. It may be a final positional error, but I think we've just about got away with it, and with a lead of 52, with just 3 reds left on the table, one more red and colour should stop Graeme Dott coming back. If we can get it so there's just 43 left and a lead of over 60, that would be absolutely remarkable, but we may have to settle for the pink if it can go to the middle pocket. Again, we've made a positional error. It's not going to be the easiest pot now, but I might just go for yellow or black to make sure we've done the job. The black goes quite well, but I'm not confident enough with that going into the potting angle, so we're going to go for the yellow just to make sure we've done the trick, and we'll try and come back down the table and get on a red. If we don't, it doesn't matter. We're at the snooker's required stage. The reds avoided the pocket and the cue balls avoided the pocket, so no fouls have been committed, and that's the most important thing. We're on the red pretty nicely after that, so we will just roll this one in as well, and we are going to be through to our first quarter final in the UK Betway Championship. A brilliant pot on the red. We've got the green or the yellow if need be, and that should just be enough to see off this break and see off our opponent, although Graeme Dott certainly put up a good fight in a really spirited challenge. Neither of us really wanted to win this last frame. We were both a little bit nervy. We've left ourselves a safety on the red, so it should be a relatively easy one from here. We're literally just going to hit the red. We're not worried about where it all goes. If we've got a safety shot down, the red's gone down the table, and we've managed to almost snooker in behind the green. I doubt it'll come back anyway, but just in case we've covered ourselves. But what a momentous victory, and we're into the quarter final of the UK Championship. There's the confirmation in a 3-2 victory. Not quite as fluent in the point scoring as we have been recently. Graeme Dott certainly looked a match for us, but we did get a high break of 57 and 2 other half-century breaks as well. 2 of them came in 1 frame though, and most importantly, we're through to the quarter final. Let's find out who we're going to face. I'm sure it will be one of the big boys from now. You can't expect to get a lowly ranked player at this stage, but either way, the prize money from this tournament is going to shoot us 20 or 30 places up the rankings. I'm really delighted with where we're going. We've really improved quite quickly, and I'm delighted that in our first season we're competing with the world's best. So we've got 6th ranked John Higgins next, the quarter final of the UK Championship. We're going to be heavy underdogs for this one, but even if we lose, 22,500 in event earnings. I know some players will earn in this tournament too, but as it stands, that will take us up an absolute pile of ranking places, and we'll be up towards the 80 stage, which is unthought of in the first half of season. We've accidentally come out of the career mode then, but let's go and look at our pro. A high break of 110 from our 4 centuries. We're going to break the top 100 after this tournament, and we've almost reached 50-50 for our form. If we can win more games than we're losing, we're certainly going to have a chance. I'm not here to be a world beater. We want to win the championship once and emulate Ronnie O'Sullivan, but we're not expecting to match all of his achievements. 1 world championship's enough for me. If we keep playing like this, we may well have a UK championship on our hands though, although it's going to be quite tough to make it all the way. Though a brilliant performance has really seen us through, although I'm not quite sure why it says all the scores are 0-0. That seems like a little glitch at the bottom there. 0-0 in round 2, and then we've got round 3 there twice. It says 0-0 on the right and 3-1 on the left, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But we've got some big tournaments coming up. Obviously the Masters we're not going to qualify for the first year, but towards the end of the season we could be in red hot form by the time the World Championships come around. So fingers crossed you'll join me for that, and in the next one for the deciding frame of this match. If we're going down heavily, we will just carry on with the season, but if it gets to a decider, or we've got a chance of winning, you'll see us playing against John Higgins. Maybe it'll be a comfortable 3-0, and then you'll come back and see us in a semi-final, but either way, hopefully we'll have more action from this championship, as it just means we'll still be in the tournament. But if you did enjoy this episode, please put a thumbs up on the video as always. I really do appreciate you continuing to support the series. Let me know down in the comments what your highest break is. How are you getting on with the game and the break building? I really struggle in the safety exchanges, but aside from that I'm getting pretty competent now. I can't get fluent century breaks. I've not got near a 147 either, as I've never had enough control on the cue ball to stay on the black for every red. But let me know if you managed to achieve it and what you think we'll do against John Higgins. Do you think we'll get through to the semi-final, or is this going to be the end of our dream run? Subscribe to the channel for weekly content from this Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30. There's also daily content from 2 long-term FM19 stories, and then from the end of this month we'll have plenty of content from Cricket 19, the official game of the Ashes, which comes out towards the end of May. We'll have loads of career mode content from that, and our Football Manager content will continue too, and we've got a bonus episode of this one coming next bank holiday, so we'll have a double header next weekend. So I hope you'll come and join me for that, but a massive thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next time.